I'm with Coach Adam here this morning at Artemis. Today we are talking about elbow health. So Adam brought it up to me, but coincidentally I've been seeing loads of this in clinic at the minute, loads of golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, again with any kind of rows, rope climbs, all this kind of stuff. It's really setting off all that pain coming into that kind of inside the elbow or on the outside here. So generally we're going to talk a little bit about anatomy, about why that happens specifically more of CrossFit, and then we're going to go through some exercises strengthening wise and a bit of soft tissue work of how to prevent it, and a little bit of advice for you guys that might also be suffering with the pain in a minute. So it's important to manage it correctly with the amount of volume that we're seeing in CrossFit with some of the movements. So just to start with, Adam's going to just pop his forearm out, so not necessarily the weight just yet, but the reason we're seeing so much elbow pain at the minute, really it's a terrible design by the body. All the muscles in the back of the, well, in terms of the palm of the hand, run and attach to this one point here called the medial epicondyle. Same thing on the other side of the forearm, but it's on the lateral epicondyle. Basically, when we're doing a lot of loading in this position and flexing and so on, all of that tension is getting put on that one point. As soon as we get a little bit of swelling on it, creates thickening, creates inflammation, which again, if we're loading it more and more of CrossFit, it's just going to get worse. We're seeing it specifically more in CrossFit because of that front back position, okay? So we're really taking that risk into that vulnerable position with load, and then we're getting a lot of pain kind of coming into this elbow on the medial side. So we're going to go through some strength work to really hit that area to make sure we can prevent that. So we've got, this is just 7.5 kilo dumbbell. I want you guys to go relatively heavy with this because we've got to mimic what we're doing in class, but this will also be dependent on people's pain in the elbow. So only do this if it's pain free. First of all, we're just going to use the weight. We're going to get Adam to drop his wrist off the end of the box, if his little arms can reach. Fixing the forearm down, and we're just really working from the wrist just up and down in a nice easy motion. We'd want to hit about 3 sets of 15 reps for this. With the 15 rep, like any other exercise, that 15th rep's got to be quite challenging. The main thing with you guys is I want to make sure that this isn't painful for any of it. For you guys who have got pain in that elbow, we're going to tweak it a little bit. So I'm assuming your elbows are good as gold? Yeah. So again, this way Adam will probably be able to go a little bit heavy if needed. So what we're going to do is, if Adam was suffering with elbow pain, is that we're going to tweak it and do what we call the eccentric phase. So Adam's going to start in that position. He'll slowly lower it down right into that extended position. So we're loading the tendon but lengthening it. And then what we would do is remove the weight, bring it back up, reintroduce the weight, and then only do that lowering phase again. If we start loading coming up in that vulnerable position, we're just going to irritate it a little bit more, okay? So we're just lengthening, using gravity to assist it, but this will get some load on the tendon to help in terms of those front back positions. So again, 3 sets of 15, but you pick the weight depending on your symptoms, all right? I don't want you to work into any pain with this. It should all be relatively pain-free, okay? If it is aggravating, then you need to stop it. But get on top of this before you do get any elbow pain, okay? Following this, we're just talking about some soft tissue work. So Adam's going to show us with the massage gun as well as on the barbell. We've had to do a little bit of foam rolling using the barbell and a little bit of gun work just to get into these forms. If we can loosen these structures along with the strengthening work, the front back position shouldn't be irritable at all. Same with rope climbs and all that. So as you members here will already see, Adam's got a few massage guns, which I know he doesn't mind giving out. So with this, all we're doing is working into the muscles around here. The one area I would say be careful with is a lot of you guys will be getting the pain coming into this bony section, into the attachment there. We can work close to it, but don't go right on the bone, okay? It's going to be a little bit painful. So with this area, we're just working all that soft tissue down into that forearm. By loosening that, again, we get that great range of movement, takes the stress off that medial side. Making sure that we also come up into the bicep area, all of the kind of myofascia, the connective tissue that will run all along here, again, will play a part. So it's important that we work the bicep, we work the tricep. I would even say get into the lats. If we're working into front back positions, it's where tightness through here will make you then overcompensate for the wrist, okay? So it's not just focusing on the wrist itself. In terms of the rope climbs and bits like that, again, any other areas that are tight, make sure you hit those as well. If you haven't got access to a massage gun on the barbell, Adam's going to show you how to do a little bit of work on that as well. So just come over to the barbell. So as we said, if you don't have access to a massage gun, we can use some of the equipment in the gym. So all Adam's going to do here is, by using the roller in terms of the barbell, using the bearings, we're just going to slowly roll that forearm muscle. Again, all those areas you just searched around for that tightness, just to get a little bit of work into that soft tissue. So all Adam's doing is pushing down on the barbell here and using his own body weight. You can do it the other way, where you're laying on the floor and you're putting the weight of the barbell on it, and then you roll the barbell up and down, which is quite nice. Again, people are going to tolerate different things. It doesn't have to be the inside of the elbow, we can work the other side of the elbow as well in terms of the forearm. So again, same principle, but we're just working through avoiding those bony landmarks, because that's where it's going to get a little bit sore, but really working to the meat and muscle on both sides. And again, same thing, if you want to kind of lie down, put the barbell on it, because being 20 kilos, you're going to have plenty of weight just to work into that muscle. But again, do this before your elbows become painful, because by the time they're painful and you're trying to re-correct it all, again, it's usually too late. So make sure that we do all this as a preventative measure to make sure this doesn't occur in the first place. Okay? Cool.